Hey guys, today we're going to start making the Graphic 45 Fairy Dust mini album using the Remnants Lovely Layers printable template. The templates are available in my shop. I will link them in the description box below, as well as links to any products and things that I use in this video. So first I want to start off, I want to preface by saying today is February 28th, 2018, and I haven't released this template yet. I haven't been to MadeItCon yet. I haven't taught this class yet, but I wanted to film it now before I went to the MadeItCon for two reasons. One is I want to make sure it all flows and works the way I want it to, and so you might see things in this little video series that if you attend my class or attended my class, because I don't know what time, or I'm sorry, not what time, I don't know what date this set of videos will start to be public, but things may be different. So if you took my class and you're watching this now and something's a little bit different, it's because now you know that I had to tweak some things along the way. So this is the prototype that I made. I haven't shown it to a soul yet. Well, I have shown it. I've shown it to my husband and my mom, but nobody else, because it hasn't been released yet. So again, this is in February 2018. So keep that in mind when you're watching the video. I haven't even introduced this template to anybody yet. So anyway, so what I'm going to do is I have a kit for the class for MadeItCon 2018. For this class, I have the exact kit, well, as it is right now. Again, we're in February. The MadeItCon is in March. I have the exact kit, so I'm going to make it using the exact same things that we are going to be using and that we use for the class, that we're going to use for the class. I don't know how to talk, past tense, present tense. I'm not sure how to present this. So just keep that in mind, you guys. It's February 2018, and the MadeItCon is March 2018. So I'm really excited about teaching the class. The class is at MadeItCon. It's in Fort Worth, Texas. It should be a lot of fun. But anyway, so what we're going to do is first I think I'm going to get the kit out, and then we'll go through it, the contents of it, and then we'll organize it so that we can, you know, get this album going. And I will I will break these videos out into, like, we're going to build the covers and the pages and all of that. Well, I'm going to break them out so it's not just one long video, because the class is 3 hours long. So I'm obviously not going to be as detailed in the class. So if you took the class, thank you so much. I'm sure it's going to be great fun. And we didn't get to do something in the class. Well, this is kind of also what this videos are for. So anyway, so I'm going to move this stuff aside, and then I'll grab the kit. Alright, so this is the paper collection for this album we're making. This is Graphic 45. It is Fairy Dust. Again, I'll have everything linked that I can in the description box below. And we're using these two different paper pads. So I wanted to show that real quick. You know, you can use these covers as album covers as well. You can use the cardboard from your paper pads as album covers, especially when they're smaller like this. So you guys need to keep that in mind as well. Okay, so this is the kit minus the USB and the bag that it comes in. So this is what every member of the class gets, and it's just a little goodie bag of all of my things, like my pencil, which I love. There's also a business card and a set of Post-it notes. So I'm going to set these aside because we might be using these as well. I haven't decided yet, even though I've already made the prototype. We'll see. Okay, so inside the kit, this is what everyone will or have received. I gave everybody a little foam block. It's like the big one that I use to poke holes. So I gave everybody a little foam block in their kit that I made and cut down, and they're cute. And then, let me just pull it all out real quick. Okay, so let me set these two bags right here aside. You get all of your cut-off pieces. So you got all the cut-off pieces. So I'm going to set these aside. I'm actually going to organize my stuff in my prototype keepsake box that I use when I'm making videos and making my projects. And then also, every page, every paper is already printed on. So the templates are already on here. So that's going to make this go a little bit faster, and I'll try to be as detailed as possible for you guys, especially those who didn't get to take the class. And we also got the chipboard pieces for this collection. I'm going to sit this in my box. Let me scoot my box back over here so that way I don't have to reach so far. So I'm going to sit these aside, all of the pages we're going to need. And then there was also ode book pages that was included, so I'm going to sit that aside as well. That one won't fit in my box, but... And then there's also more paper that is included, but it wasn't actually used. Well, this one was used. A few of them were used. But if it wasn't used, then you still got it. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to set those aside. And then there's a sticker sheet that everybody gets. That's part of the collection. Oh, and then everybody also got one of the covers for the paper collection. I just can't talk. I've been so tired. I've been working so hard lately, you guys. Okay, so everybody also got one of these because they can be recycled and used as covers. So, okay, so then these little baggies contain, this one here has all of the different little metal bling and things, keys and paper clips and whatnot. That's all in that baggie. Some seam binding, some twine, which I'm going to stick in my other little box here. And it also comes with the two covers, the front and back cover, the Tyvek that we're going to use, and the cheesecloth that we use. So all of this is included. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this in here as well. And then there is a bag of other stuff. Okay, of other stuff. So these are all, whoa. So these are all the different little punched out circles that we're using for closures. If you want to, the flowers that are on the covers, even like these little tiny little mini cards, all of that is included in the kit, or, you know. And then we have some Hoe reinforcement stickers. So we've got those. And then these are tiny. These are little punched butterflies. That was included. So I'm going to stick these in. They're very delicate. So I'm going to stick those in there. There's another one of those cards and a flower. And then here is some, I'm pretty sure this is, yeah. These are printed on clear label paper. So these are part of my new Build a Bellishment sets that I'm sure are already out, and you've probably already seen it. And it looks like this. This is set number 4. And it's actually on the washi tape sheet. So, you know, you can print it onto anything you want. You can print it on just regular paper and just, you know, glue it down if you want to. But these are fun because it's clear, so it kind of really looks like washi tape. So these are included, so I'm going to stick these in here. And then here's some of that actual washi tape part that I made. I got a video on my DIY washi tape. So I'm going to put that in there. And then here's some different pieces of that same Build a Bellishment set. Some small ones and some large ones. These are all used in the album. And then some tickets, just plain white tickets that are also used. So let's see. How do I want to do this where I can see everything? I don't have anything to prop it up. I need something. What do I need? Maybe I should just prop those up here. Okay. So let me open this little bag of metal pieces and things. So there's some paper clips, some rusted paper clips. Hopefully I have done a video on how to do that. If not, I will be soon. There's a clock hand. There's some really cute rose gold paper clips. I thought they were cute, like teardrop shaped. So there's some of those. I need a little something to put all this stuff in, don't I? And then there's some charms. There's some bulb pins. Those are black. There's a key charm, a feather charm, another key charm. There's brads in here, tiny, tiny brads, and then a bunch of these little flat back crystal thingies. I need to go see if I can find something to put this in. Hang on, I'll be back. Okay, so I just got one of these little recycle things that I keep just to hold everything a little bit closer together. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to start on the covers. We're going to assemble the covers. And so what you're going to need for that is page number 2 in the template. I printed mine onto cardstock, white cardstock, 110-pound cardstock, and that is the new stained script. We're also going to need this sheet from the Graphic 45 Fairy Dust paper, and we're going to need the 2 covers and the 2 pieces of Tyvek. So this is just lightweight chipboard. I've probably been using it throughout all these videos that you've seen already before this. But it's like a cardboard, like from cereal boxes or something, or from the paper pads. You know, it's kind of that way. This one might be a little bit stiffer than the paper pads, but when you've got a smaller project like this, you don't need super duper heavy duty, which is why I am using the Tyvek to keep the spine intact, you know, because it is a smaller album, and I did it with my bigger albums too. So the Tyvek just makes for a soft spine. I really like the soft spine. So these are just envelopes that I cut down. You know, recycle them. If you get them in the mail, recycle them. I don't recommend going to the post office and taking the post office's Tyveks, the ones they, I think they do give you free, some priority mail ones for free. I don't really agree with that. So, you know, they provide it to us for free, but if we abuse that, then they're just going to raise the shipping prices and whatnot, and nobody wants that. So, you know, but I did purchase these. I actually found a really good deal on Amazon. I think I got like a damaged box. The product itself wasn't damaged, but the box was, so they could sell it super cheap. So I did score a good deal on those. So those are the pieces we're going to need to start. So let's get going. Let's just do it. So this is my Precision Heavy Duty paper trimmer, and I'm just going to cut this out all the way around. All the way around the edges. Alright, so that's the only thing we actually need to trim out right now. So then what we want to do is we wanted to score this. I've got my EK Tools scoreboard and embossing stylus. And what I'm going to do is, there's those 4 lines here in the middle. I'm just going to score those. I'm going to lightly score those. Just to make it easier when we go to start bending the covers back and forth. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to barely give it a little bit of a gentle bend there. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to add this piece of Tyvek to the middle here. Doesn't have to be perfect, and I don't know if you noticed or not, but the covers, this is the cover, so I just, you know, used cut a template out and traced it around and cut it out, okay? And the same for the Tyvek. There is no special measurement, it's just the same as the cover. So, again, I'm sure I've pointed that out already. Okay, so I think all I'm going to do is I am going to think about this. What am I going to do? I'm going to take some score tape and I'm going to go around the 4 edges. I think you could probably just use wet glue on this. You don't have to use score tape, but I am going to just go around these edges And it's very possible that if you take the class that I might have done this differently. So you just never know. There's so many different ways that you can make or build a cover. It's just almost, it's almost endless. All right, so then I think I'm gonna run a piece of tape on, you can't see the score line, but on one side of the score line here, I don't know why I put my scissors up. And then on the other side of the score line here, and then on this side as well. Just like that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the backing off of this. Let me grab my little garbage bin there from my small keepsake box template. And I'm going to take the backing off of this piece as well. And, you know, Tyvek is really strong. You cannot tear it. So, for those of you that might be concerned about that it's totally fine. You can't tear it. Well, I guess you could if you were super duper duper strong. I don't know. I am going to take some Fabri-Tac by Beacon, and I'm going to put it in the center here, just in the center. I'm going to let it come down. I'm just going to cover that really good. And then, it doesn't matter, not right now anyways. Alright, so I'm just going to try to center this piece of Tyvek on here. And if it's not perfect, it's still okay. If it's not perfectly centered, I mean, it's still perfectly fine. Okay. Even if you get wrinkles in it, it's probably still perfectly fine. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and mush that down. This is a Teflon bone folder. Oh, Tim Holtz tonic scissors, Sue Quain score tape. Alright, so we've got a little bit of an overhang here, so I'm going to just go ahead and cut that off. I am using my Tim Holtz scissors because the glue doesn't, you know, the tape isn't going to stick to it. Although these tiny little scissors, if I had the longer handle scissors, it'd go faster probably. Alright, so then the next thing I want to do is, I think I'm just going to glue these down. Yes, I'm just going to glue these down with Fabri-Tac, because we're making these first because we need them to dry really good. And so they'll be good and flexible. So I'm just going to take my Fabri-Tac, and I'm going to cover both pieces. Let me grab the other piece. I'm going to cover both of these pieces with a really good amount of glue. You could have gone along the edges with your score tape if you wanted to, just to make sure that it doesn't pop up. So there's one. Oh, you know what? I think I got glue on the back side. I don't want to glue it down to my whatever this is called. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put glue on both. Alright, so I'm just literally going to line this up to the edge, and if it's not perfect, if it's a little small or it's a little big, it's okay. It can be fixed. It can be trimmed. And we'll flip this around. I'm going to put this other one over here. Alright, now I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to burnish it down really good. Okay. So my husband cut all of these covers for us, and if they, you know, it could be slightly bigger or smaller or whatever. But either way, you guys, it can be trimmed off. It's just barely off, just a little bit. I mean, I could have maybe trimmed my template just a little bit bigger, but it's okay. And I'm gonna ink it, so I'm not worried about it. Okay, so there's that. And then we wanna do the same thing with this piece of Tyvek. We want to cover the edges, go around the edges with the score tape. Okay, so I did the same thing with the score tape onto the actual covers. One on the edge of the cover, and then one on the inside of the score mark that we made. And then of course this was all the way around. Take the backing off. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add glue to the middle so that it'll be flexible, so that the spine can stay soft and flexible, but still be strong at the same time. Okay, so again, take my glue and put it in the middle here. Okay, so we're going to line it up as best we can, so we can cut it off easily. Whoa, got a way off there. Come on, there we go. It's like I just couldn't get it. There we go. Alright, so now we've got that. We'll go ahead and burnish this down. Alright, let's see if we have any. We do, just a little. So I'm going to cut this up if I can. I might not be able to get in there. There we go. Oh look, I'm going to go ahead and grab that little bit of chipboard that's hanging over. No, that one, I can't tell on that one. It's so tiny I can't tell. Alright, so there's that part. Now what we're going to do, we are not going to start bending on this yet. We're going to leave it be. So now what we're going to do is we're going to attach it to this scrapbook paper. So I'm going to go ahead and flip that over, and I'm just going to use Fabri-Tac once again. And I'm going to cover the whole thing with it. Okay, so that I'm going to flip it over. Oh, wait, now I need to pay attention, because this is going to be the inside lining of my mini album here. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to match it up in the corner here. Give it a little wiggle. Alright, I'm going to smoosh it. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to burnish. Like that. Make sure again that it's okay. So I don't know if we're going to have a craft knife at MadeItCon, but for the sake of the video, I am going to use my craft knife. This is a pen blade, retractable craft knife, and I'm just going to hold it up next to the chipboard covers, and I'm just going to trim. Just like that. Whoop. Got off a little bit, you guys. Get back on. There we go. Ah! Okay, there we go. Now we got it. So I'm going to close my craft knife. Alright, so now I'm going to cut this piece off right here, and I'm going to stick these with my scraps. You never know. We might need them. We don't need this anymore. Okay, so now here's the part that's going to be tough, you guys. Now you just need to leave it alone. Don't bend it. Don't do anything with it. Just let it dry. See, I've got a little bit of a rough edge there now. Just leave it alone. Just let it dry. Okay, it won't take too long. Oh, I got off a little bit there. That's okay. But again, I'm just going to burnish it down again really good. And then we're going to leave it to dry. Yeah, looks good already. All right, I'm going to set this aside. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut out the main base layers 1 and 2. So let me grab that stuff and I'll be back. Okay, this is page 3 and 4. This is the main base layer 1. This is main base layer 2. And then there's another layer. I tried to simplify. I'm sure I've already told you all this. Tried to simplify what I named things. 1, 2, and 3 instead of top, bottom, middle, or small, medium, large. I just tried to do 1, 2, 3. So here is the 2 main bases. And we're going to go ahead and grab the paper trimmer again. And for this, let me go ahead and dump that out. For both of these pages, we are not going to be using this pocket, but I don't want to accidentally cut these bits off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just kind of roughly cut these out here. Okay, so I'm going to cut this pocket off completely. And I'm going to put it in my stuff because it's going to be used on a different page. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and trim this out all the way around. Okay, so then I'm also going to put these in with my extra stuff. And I'm going to do the same thing to this one, except there's nothing in the way, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim this pocket off because it will too be used in a different page. It will also, I'm going to put that in my stuff. And I'm going to cut these off, put that in my stuff. Okay, so I'm going to finish trimming this out. Alright, I've got them both trimmed out. Now I'm going to score them with my scoreboard and my stylus. So I'm going to trim both of these inner lines. And then we're going to go ahead and prep them a little. Well, not a little. We're going to go ahead and prep them, period. And we're going to make a good crisp crease. There we go. Alright, so now what I want to do is I want to ink them. And this is the ink that I'm using for this album. This is Distress Oxide in Walnut Stain. And I'm using a Tim Holtz blending tool. And this side is really inked heavily, but just in case you don't want to see the white bait core of the, pattern paper, I'm going to go ahead and ink. Yeah, it's pretty good. Some pattern papers, the quality is different, and some, crack, and some of them have, more of a white space, like more of a white core, like thicker, I guess. So I'm going to ink both of these up the same way. I'm also going to go ahead and ink these edges here as well on both of them. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, I've got them both inked on both sides. Did I get this side? I don't know if I did or not. Well, it's because it's already heavily inked. It comes this way. These are handmade templates, so that's how I choose to roll, Okay. Maybe just a little bit of extra. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add the score tape, and I'm using, no, yes, I'm going to use this 3/8 of an inch score tape, and I'm going to put it here on the spine, and I'm not going to go too close to the score edge. I'm going to scoot back just a little bit, just a little, and we're going to attach it there, and we got a piece here. Like that. I was going to put a 1/4 of an inch in the middle there, but it doesn't look like it's going to fit. I'm going to have to though. So maybe I should have just done a 1/4 of an inch. I'll put it on in a second. A 1/4 of an inch instead of 3/8. So here's another 1/4 of an inch. Oh my God. Okay, here. I'm going to go ahead and use a 1/4 of an inch for this one because it is very much smaller. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put these two together. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this. This one does not have a direction, but this one does. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the two together. And find the thingy. Where's the thingy? Here it is. Right? And you could use your glue stick trick if you want to, but this is pretty easy. You just line it up, put it in the middle. If you want to make yourself marks, you can do that too. But I'm just gonna, whoa, just gonna eyeball it. All right, let me just eyeball the bottom and then maybe flip it around and eyeball the top. Okay, I can already tell that I trimmed these slightly different. But again, that's okay. See how much taller this one is over here? Now I just need to decide if that's something I need to trim off or not. If it'll bother me or not. I think I'm just gonna leave it, you guys. I just trimmed it crooked. Oh, yeah, and I'm not gonna be able to take it. I'm not. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. I'm just gonna hold it up and trim it, and then I'll have to re-ink that edge. I just cut it crooked, and that happens to me all the time. So don't freak out if it happens to you. It happens all the time. Okay. So now those are the two layers ready to go. And I think I can't put them in my book just yet. Let's give it a test. Let me make sure. I'm going to go ahead and burnish it one more time. Alright, so now I'm just going to take my bone folder and just help me crease this edge right here. And the same over here. I'm just going to gently work it. I'm just going to gently keep working it. Just a little bit. Okay. All right. And you should be able to almost bend it on itself, you know, but don't be too aggressive. You don't want to tear anything or crack anything. Okay. So now we got that. And then I also like to kind of bend it the other way because I really want this to be a soft spine. That's really important to me right now. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna ink all the edges front and back here. Okay, so I've got all of this inked front and back, and I just wanted to point out real quick on this side, I did just kind of like do it like this versus only doing it like this, just to give it a little bit more, antique vintage look. I didn't do it to this side because most of this is going to be covered up. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out. So now we're going to add our pages. So this book only has 4 pages. You can add more if you like, but for this exact book, it's only, oh look, I didn't even put it in the center, you guys. Can you see that? This one maybe is a 1/2 inch, and this one looks like a 1/4. Oh well. Okay, that's fine. All right, now we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take the backing off of here. Why do I keep losing my tools? All right, I'm gonna take the backing off of this tape, And I am going to add a strip of the 1/4 inch down the middle here. That open hole there. We don't really want this to come off, so we want to make sure that everything is covered. Want it to be strong. I'm going to burnish that real quick and take the backing off of there. And again, you can use your glue stick if you would like, but you should just be able to, since it doesn't go all the way to the top or the bottom of the book, you should just be able to eyeball it, leave about 1/8 inch on the top and 1/8 inch on the bottom, and kind of center it as best that you can. Try not to get crooked. But you guys know, if you mess up, you know how I feel about that. Oh well, moving on. It's a handmade item, you guys. It's supposed to look handmade. It's supposed to have imperfections and stuff. And that's kind of what I love. One of my most favorite parts about my templates is that they're supposed to be handmade. They're supposed to be made with love. They're not manufactured. I'm just going to go ahead and see if I need to ink anywhere specific. Get some of the white off of there. So now look, the pages are in the book. So we've got all 4 pages in there. The covers are done. And I'm just going to keep working my binding there, the spine piece, because you can go both ways with it. And the point of the soft spine, which I'm sure I've already told this to you guys, is so that when you're working on it, it lays flatter. It doesn't stand straight up when you've got a really hard spine. So it gives you a little bit more flexibility. So yeah, so I'm just going to keep working it so that it, you know, it gets nice, almost like breaking the fibers of the paper down. And so, yeah, so every time I pick up this cover, I bet you I do this. Plus, I don't know, it's something very therapeutic about that for me. But anyway, okay, so that is it. That is all we're going to do for this video. So we'll start on the pages in the next video. The last thing we're going to do is the cover, just because I don't want it to be in the way while we're building everything. So we'll start on the very first page in the next video. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, go ahead and hit this little circle right there. And there's a link to my shop if you're interested in the templates, and you may like some of the other videos that you see on the screen. I will see you guys next time. Bye.